New Zealand has been this banana peel team for many bigger teams, and we are going to be meeting them in a league match in the ICC Champions Trophy. So, will they once again slip India, or is there a possibility of India beating them? Is a question that I'm going to give an answer to astrologically in this video. So, talking about India has a phenomenal squad. The astrological balance of the squad is very well balanced. And many players are born in the 90s, and it is dispersed very well, which means that we have players with Neptune in exaltation, Pluto in exaltation, born in the 90s, early 90s. We also have some players born in the 80s, the late 80s, so that there is an astrological balance. The 80s born players have Uranus in powerful position, so which means the squad is very well balanced. But if you're going to look at it astrologically, into the horoscopes of the New Zealand born players, you see one peculiar phenomenon. The peculiar phenomenon is that except for a few handful of players, it can be, let's say, Kane Williamson, or it can be Rachin Ravindra. If you leave a couple of them, you will see that most of the players, it's a very interesting phenomenon, most of the players, starting from Will Young to Devon Conway to even the skipper, Mitchell Shantner, you will see it can be Matt Henry. You will see most of these players are born in the years 1991 and 92. Now that's very interesting. I'm looking at that playing 11 which is there, and even if some of the players who are not a part of the playing 11 also were born in the years 1991 and 92, which is very interesting. So now, what has happened in the year 1991 and 92 is that there are four planets very powerful, which is Pluto, Neptune, and Chiron, and there is a planet I call it as planet Z, and these are two asteroids, Chiron and planet Z. They are also very strong, and at this point of time in the transits, all of these four bodies are very powerfully placed. So what it makes them a very, very strong team, extremely powerful team. But at the same time, in the years 91 and 92, there is a planet called planet X. That's a very, very powerful asteroid, and that planet is in deep debilitation. It is very weak. So while it makes them a phenomenally strong team because of these four bodies, this one planet, which is an extraordinarily powerful planet and a very important planet, they also go through those moments where they are almost there and then they lose. In fact, if I look at that, the New Zealand team, which lost against England in the 2019 World Cup, that also contained many players born in the years 1991 and 92. So they reached the final, but then they lost it. But because of the strength of the squad, because the Pluto and Neptune is so powerful, they also won some very, very important tournaments. So we're talking about, for example, they came to India and then they bet India 3-0. And Tom Latham, again born in the year 1992, phenomenal horoscope, same planets exalted, and he did this. So it's like, and then of course, we're talking about the ICC Champions Trophy. They again bet India. And despite India being a very, very strong team, they bet India because of this entire phenomena of the 91 and 92. Now, the big question is, can they beat India once again in the Champions Trophy? Okay, so what happens? Maybe there is an opportunity that India can also meet New Zealand in the final if both the teams go across. So then we'll talk about what will happen then, at that point of time, but then talking about this encounter. See, very clearly, there is a huge history. The recent history is against India, in the sense that in the same captaincy of Rohit Sharma, India lost the test series against the same squad. And almost, many of the players who are playing here were there in that squad. So what it means is, because of the recent history, because there is a huge challenge, and that challenge I would say is that because Rohit Sharma also has a Pluto which is debilitated in his horoscope, which means that he's going to go through some big low. But the biggest positive about Rohit Sharma's chart is that after going through that biggest low, he will also bounce back and see some biggest highs. Like in 2023 World Cup, there was a big low where he lost, took the team to the World Cup final and he lost. But then immediately in the next year, he bounced back and then he won the T20 World Cup. So something like that. So the same coach of New Zealand is still there, and our India's coach is also the same. So the coaches have not changed. The captain, yes, they are different captains, but then if you look at them, both the captains are born in the same year, 1992. So what it means is that the astrological balance of India is now, it's in India's favor, because Rohit Sharma has lost recently in a very bad way. So what it means is that he has to avenge the defeat. So what it means is that India's encounter against New Zealand in the Champions Trophy, I would say, is very, very highly in favor of India. In fact, if this is going to be the only time they are going to meet, then I would say that definitely India is going to win. And if there are going to be two meets, then the story can be different. See, there is a slight possibility that India can lose the first match and then go on to win the more consequential match. Because see, we're talking about India. India is going to bounce back. Rohit Sharma is going to bounce back from the lowest lows. So which means that this time around against New Zealand, he's going to bounce back. And if they're going to play two matches, then he will win the most consequential one. But if they're going to play only one match, which is going to be the next match, I would say that definitely India has a higher chance. But I would say even in both the matches, if India is going to play both the times, still, because we have a new astrological, the squad is new, many of the players are new, and then there are also players born in the different years, which adds to the astrological balance of the squad. So India definitely has a more astrologically balanced squad, ensuring that India can definitely beat New Zealand even both the times.